Every single day your brain does something pretty miraculous, and it does it so quietly we barely even notice. It sorts the entire world into neat little boxes. This is called categorization. But how does it actually work? How do we look at something and just know what it is? Well, let's unlock the brain's filing cabinet and find out.
Okay, take a look at this. You know instantly it's a chair, right? Even if you've never seen one that looks exactly like this before. Your brain didn't have to buffer or think about it. It just knew. That split-second recognition is one of the most powerful and, honestly, mysterious things our minds do. So, for decades, cognitive scientists have been trying to reverse engineer this incredible skill. And what they've found is really fascinating. It's not just one single trick. Instead, our brains seem to come equipped with a whole toolkit with 3 core strategies for making sense of everything around us.
We're going to dive into these 3 main theories. First, there's the exemplar-based model, which we're going to call the mental scrapbook. Then we've got the prototype-based model, or what we'll call the perfect average. And finally, the rule-based model, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's like having a rule book in your head.
First up, let's open that mental scrapbook. This idea suggests that your brain is basically an obsessive collector of memories.
So the official name here is the exemplar-based model. It proposes that you don't have some vague, fuzzy idea of a chair. No, it suggests you have a massive, lightning-fast database of every single chair you have ever seen in your entire life. So here's how it would work in practice. When you see a new object, your brain just rapidly flips through its entire mental gallery, comparing it to your kitchen chair, that weird beanbag from college, even that artsy sculpture you saw in a museum once. If the new thing gets enough hits, enough similarities to your memories, your brain just goes, yep, that's a chair. But what if your brain isn't a scrapbook? What if it's more of an artist? Let's move on to our second theory, which paints a totally different picture. This is the prototype model. Now, instead of storing every single memory, this theory suggests your brain creates an idealized version, a single, perfect, most typical representation of a category.
Think about it like a composite photograph. Your brain takes every chair it's ever seen and just kind of blends them all together into one abstract, ultimate chair. So when you see a new object, you don't compare it to thousands of individual memories. You just ask one simple question. How close is this to my perfect, ultimate chair prototype?
Okay, on to our third and final strategy. This one is less about memory or averages and much more about pure logic. This is about having a mental rulebook. Rule-based models argue that we learn a specific set of defining features or rules for any given category. It's basically a mental checklist that an object has to pass to get admitted into the chair club.
The process is really just a super fast mental flowchart. Your brain quickly runs through the questions. Does it have a seat? Yes. A base? Yep. Is it for sitting? Check. Okay, it fits the rules, so it's a chair. What's really cool about this model is that it also helps explain how we handle exceptions, like a stool that follows most of the rules but doesn't have a back.
So, we've looked at the scrapbook, the perfect average, and the rulebook. 3 totally different ways of thinking about how we categorize the world. And that brings us to the obvious question. So which one is it? Which theory is the right one? Is your brain a librarian meticulously collecting every example? An artist creating the perfect average? Or a lawyer following a strict set of rules? What's really going on inside your head? Well, it turns out, asking which one is right completely misses the most incredible part of this whole story. The answer isn't one or the other, it's all of them. This is what's called the multiple systems theory. Your brain is this incredibly flexible powerhouse. It's not a competition, it's a collaboration. You might use the perfect average prototype for simple things like identifying a bird, but you'll almost certainly need the rulebook to understand a complex abstract concept like a tax shelter. And look, this isn't just a nice idea, it's backed by a lot of research. As the source material puts it, neuroscience strongly suggests our brains are built with these multiple parallel systems for learning about the world. We just switch between them seamlessly depending on what we need to get done. So the next time you instantly recognize something, just take a second to think about what's happening under the hood. Is your brain flipping through that mental scrapbook of memories? Is it comparing what you see to a perfect average? Or is it just checking off a list of rules? The answer is probably a little bit of everything, a beautiful, complex dance that makes you, you. So what do you think? What's your brain's default style?